ooga chaka, ooga chaka, ooga 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 chaka, ooga chaka, ooga chaka, ooga ooga chaka,
deep inside of me.
ooga 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 chaka,
Girl, you just don't realize what you do to me.
Ooga ooga ooga
When you hold me in your arms so tight, you let me know everything's alright. Each is asleep. Guardians of the Galaxy, Night at the Theatah. And here we are, guys. We just saw Guardians of the Galaxy at different times during the week, but we're going to record the video now.
Because we are consistent.
Because we're here. And we're good reviewers like that. I'm Paul.
I'm Saga.
I'm ChouRaven.
And, as I said, we just saw Guardians of the Galaxy. And, oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. This is a really great year.
This has been. I've noticed that 2014 has been a really good year for movies. Like, let's go down the list of what's been great so far this year quickly. We've had the Grand Budapest Hotel,
which was good.
Lego Movie,
which was great.
Days of Future Past,
which I saw
really
4 times.
Good, yeah.
Godzilla, which I liked a lot.
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah.
Was there another? There was another great one, I think. What was it?
Apes.
Yeah, Apes.
Yeah, there it is.
Go watch. Yeah, go watch.
I wasn't even part of that episode.
That was great.
Don't forget Age of Extinction.
It was so good. No one.
But Guardians of the Galaxy
was amazing.
Was really a lot of fun.
Okay. Here's how I like to analogize this movie to anyone who hasn't seen it yet. If you've seen Firefly
or Star Wars,
it's like Firefly or Star Wars if Firefly was also Star Wars.
At the same time.
At the same fucking time. It's got the team has the same basic character tropes as the team from Firefly.
Which I've always said, Firefly to me was Joss Whedon pitched Firefly like this. It's like Star Wars, but all the characters are Han Solo.
Which is basically this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, everyone is Han Solo.
But that's not a bad thing.
No, everyone's Han Solo in different ways, but they're also the Firefly team in a lot of ways, which I really, really like. I mean, you've got the renegade thief with a code in Malcolm Reynolds / fucking Star-Lord. You've got what's her name? The Zoe Saldana.
Oh, Gamora.
Gamora, you know, she's basically the strong black girl of the group. And also, Rocket Raccoon and Groot make the sort of married couple kind of trope going on.
Very much like Han Solo and Chewbacca there.
Yeah, extremely Han Solo.
And then we had Drax, who very much surprised me. I'll get to him later.
The performance wasn't great, but I just oh my god!
Yeah.
It's perfect!
So, I think we should say, okay, have any of you read the Guardians comics at all?
Never once.
Have you?
No, but I'm familiar with the lore to a certain degree.
I've read 1 or 2, but it's weird because Guardians, this was probably the most looked forward to Marvel movie for me. But it's weird because, other than the Iron Man movies, because I'm, out of all of the Avengers, canon, Iron Man's my favorite, unlike most people. Mm-hmm. But then when I heard about Guardians, I was like, oh, they're going to try something really different this time. And so this was probably, I was the most excited for out of all the Marvel sequels, I guess you could say, everything after Avengers, basically.
Well, it was nice. It was nice to see them sort of tackle a separate part of the Marvel universe.
Yeah, they decided to.
It's one of the branch stories.
Yeah,
it's the Galactic universe.
It does kind of cross over on occasion.
Yeah,
it does, but not as much. It's one of those things that would cross over with the Avengers continuity.
Yeah, well, it's going to have to.
Yeah,
because Thanos.
Yeah, also Infinity Gems.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, they're hinting at Infinity Gems.
I think they're called stones in this continuity.
Infinity Stones. Okay,
but
sure.
Well, not hinting. They're there. We see them in this.
They're there. They're there in the gauntlet itself within Thor 1.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So with all that, when we all go see the movie, I was just really excited. I'm like, okay, let's see. I want to share a little bit of a funny story though, very quickly.
Sure.
What happened with us? If you've seen the trailers for this movie, you know, and the whole movie is like this. It's very lighthearted. It's a fun story. You know, the trailers are all ooga chaka and the big spirit in the sky, like that sort of stuff. So I was like, okay, this movie's gonna be fun. This movie's gonna be great. We open on Cancer Mom.
Yep.
That's the opening of this movie.
Yeah.
Yes!
Oh, that happened.
I was like, oh.
Very astute observation, sir.
That is literally the first thing in this movie.
Oh. A boy watched his mother die in front of his eyes. No spoilers.
Yeah, it's literally the first thing that happens in the movie. But then the movie completely not redeems itself, I shouldn't say, because it's a well acted scene. It's weird, but like in the sentence of like, okay, what kind of tone are we going for here? It immediately redeems itself, though, in that sense with that whole like his little dance sequence,
dancing through the ruins, kicking monsters around,
and using them as microphones.
Yeah. Grabbing one of them, using it as a microphone to get his headphones
Come and
on.
get your love. The music in this movie alone is worth it.
Oh,
it's got one of the better soundtracks to come out in a very long time.
I own
and
the
it's
soundtrack.
Just songs from various albums from the 1970s.
It's just 70s pop songs.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that era of music a lot.
It's a lot of fun. That best describes the movie. It's a lot of fun. I guess we should get into like the plot proper now.
Sure.
Yeah.
So basically, what we have here is Peter Quill, aka Star-Lord, who still one of the best jokes in the movie, but there's a lot of jokes.
Yeah.
He's a thief. He's a thief, right?
He's a scavenger.
Scavenger's a better word.
He finds things and sells them. He basically...
Although in this one, he's been contracted to, but anyway, that's
it's
going
established he takes contracts, but he finds valuable things and he sells them to people.
So he finds an orb. Not finds, he was looking for it.
Yeah.
An orb that has great power. Ooh. That's the one thing, like, I mean, I get it's a comic movie and we're building up to Infinity Stones here. That's the one thing I'm not, like every one of these movies now is about, we have this magical object over here, let's go get it. That's a
MacGuffin.
Exactly. He mentions MacGuffins. He says, so what is this, the Ark of the Covenant or the Maltese Falcon? I'm like, oh, okay, writing, you covered yourself this time.
He was literally saying, this sounds Ark of the Covenant, Maltese Falcon, fucking important. What's going on here? Great.
So basically, that sends it up into a big storyline where everyone's going after this one orb, and like there's bounties all around, and like people are chasing each other before our team fuses up together, and they're all being chased by this guy called Ronan the Accuser, who I liked a lot in this.
Yeah, he's a Kree.
He's a Kree, like one of those
an established Marvel race.
Well established.
Yes. And all of the characters in this movie have really fleshed out backstories as well. You have Gamora, who is
one of Thanos' daughters.
Yeah, she's a genetically altered people he's kidnapped.
As he does.
People he's kidnapped as he slaughters people indiscriminately. He sometimes finds kids that he turns into Robin.
And that Thanos!
Genetically modifies and tortures until they become Robin.
Or else.
Yes, and she has a sister who is working for Ronan, and she's not very well developed because she really just seems kind of petty.
She's a very third antagonist sort of deal.
Yeah.
She exists to be irrationally jealous of Gamora, even though at one point she states, when all of us were being genetically modified together, I hated you the least out of my sisters.
So
why are you fucking with her?
Yeah, who knows? She's gonna be in another movie because she clearly lives in this movie.
Yeah.
So
also, she's got no goddamn fucking allegiances to Thanos. She says, "If you want to go after Thanos, I'm down."
And then she's at the end, "No, it's fine. I'm gonna go back to him."
Yeah, exactly.
Because she's too afraid.
Exactly.
To do anything
well, there's
else.
Reasons. There are reasons.
She says to Ronan flat out, "If you can kill Thanos, I will follow you to the ends of the fucking universe."
Anyone can kill Thanos.
If anyone can kill Thanos, good for... Well, about that, but...
Drax is also a cool character who lost his wife and daughter to Thanos.
Yeah.
No,
to Ronan.
To Ronan by proxy Thanos.
Through Thanos, yeah.
And he swears revenge, and he's played by Dave Bautista.
Dave Bautista, who I think this is a good time as ever to talk about this.
I will go out on a limb and say he is not a strong actor.
He's not.
He gave his best to this.
Not only that, it worked in this realm.
Yeah.
Because literally, Drax... That's going to make more sense in a second. Drax is from a race of people who don't have metaphors. They take everything literally. So all of his lines are intentionally said like this. Oh, I am strong. You are fast. You can jump high. Like that sort of deal.
Yeah.
Like he's talking extreme. My favorite thing ever is when Quill says to him, so if you wait around, Ronan's going to show up and then you can... Why would I... drag my finger across his throat. Which I just like that. Okay, you know, you sold me. You sold me, Dave.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we should talk about our main characters too. We talked a little bit about Drax. We'll get back to him in a second.
And we've mentioned Gamora as well.
Gamora. Let's talk about Rocket and Groot.
Rocket and Groot are so great. They are the most Han Solo and Chewbacca of this group. They are. And
it's so weird. I was really like, when I first heard Bradley Cooper, you know, the guy from like Wedding Crashers and The Hangover, when I heard he was going to be Rocket, I was like,
I kind of saw it.
No. Don't get me wrong. When I saw the movie, I'm like, oh, this guy can voice act. Who knew?
No, I know that, but I kind of saw it from the beginning. Like, knowing what I knew of Rocket Raccoon, I kind of saw it.
I'm not a big fan of the guy. So
No,
I was just like, eh.
Neither am I, but I know enough to give a guy his due. And I know enough when I know that a role is good for somebody. I don't have to like him to say that he's good for
No, he was good in it.
I think he's douchey, but I like this.
That's part of the point.
I like his portrayal here. He was great. He was snarky. He was fast-talking, and he did shit just for the lulls.
He was fucking adorable.
And then, starring right next to him, Vin Diesel as Groot.
They kept talking. I read some things about this movie beforehand, and they said that they had created this whole freaking language for Groot. And the way that they played up that fact was so hilarious, because all he can say is, I am Groot. But then you get Rocket having these elongated conversations with him, like, no, I know they can't be trusted, but this shit's really important. We gotta get out of here. I am Groot. Oh, God damn it, don't talk to me like that!
That's where I really saw the whole Han Solo Chewbacca thing. Like, in the Star Wars movies, you know, Chewbacca, all he goes is, "Whoa," and how somehow Han Solo gets words from that.
Well, he understands Kashyyyk.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? That's what it was.
Yeah.
And, of course, our main character, Peter Quill, Star-Lord, played by Chris Pratt, who I'm really starting to like a lot. Do you know what else he's done?
Parks and Rec.
But do you know what else he did?
What?
He was Emmett in the Lego Movie.
Yeah! That's cool!
He was so good in this. He's so charming. So like you want to go have a beer with the guy.
Yeah, he seems like a really cool guy. I will say this, though. Peter Quill does seem like the sort of person who has that sort of deep emotional scarring from being, like, seeing his mother die of cancer right in front of his face. Like, you can see that he carries that around with him everywhere he goes because he is a criminal by trade.
Well, yeah, why do you think he fucks everything that moves?
No, I know.
There's a lot of Captain Kirk
Mommy
in that.
complexes all over the place, and yeah, Captain Kirk.
I'm picturing Freud there. So tell me about your mother.
Well, she died and gave me a lot of 70s pop music.
That makes a lot of sense.
Into pop music, poor taste in music.
David Bowie fascination. This is good. This is good. But, what, you almost did a spit take on that one.
Yes.
Oh, man.
The movie, to me, was also, like, I'm going to say that this movie, more than anything, has made me once again excited for Star Wars Episode 7.
Yeah.
This made me feel like, okay, maybe Star Wars is better off in the hands of Disney.
That's very... Honestly, I gotta say, Disney does seem to have this habit going with this, where they're staying back, but just giving all of the money.
Yeah.
It's like, these are properties, we trust you guys to do this, here's all the money you need.
That's the
we're gonna stand back and let you do your thing.
That's the weirdest fucking thing. If anyone knows who James Gunn is, the director and one of the writers of this movie, you would think that Disney would stay away from the guy. I'm gonna go down a bit of what he's done. Okay. So he got his start in the Troma movies. If you know Troma at all, you'd think, okay, Disney would have blacklisted him from the start. He wrote Tromeo and Juliet. Lloyd Kaufman has a very small cameo in this movie.
Where he goes, "Arr!"
Yeah, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
Lloyd Kaufman is amazing. But
also Stan Lee hitting on a girl twice his age who was also orange, half his age who was also orange.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yes.
I was like, when I first heard about those two having chemicals, I was hoping they would be together, but no. Yeah. But anyways, so yeah, James Gunn, he wrote Tromeo and Juliet. He directed. He also wrote, oddly enough, the Scooby-Doo movies, the live-action ones.
Movie shit.
Quit.
Yeah.
But okay,
movie's not shit.
Sometimes people are wrong. It's okay. But okay, here's what he directed: Slither.
Oh, great.
You know, the movie about aliens jumping into people's mouths and exploding them.
Wow.
And so much... There's literally a scene in that movie where Michael Rooker is a monster in that movie, right? Michael Rooker played Yondu in this. I want to get to him in a minute.
Yeah.
Literally, he cuts a guy in half, and all of his guts fall out, right?
That's amazing.
And also, he directed Super, like, you know, the more underground version of Kick-Ass, I guess you could say, where Ellen Page rapes Rainn Wilson. At some point, a Disney exec saw this and said, "That's our guy."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
I'm willing to bet it was Uncle Walt's cryogenically frozen head.
Once again, with this, I go, like, Disney kind of lets Marvel Studios handle their own shit.
That's what I
mean. So that was like, Disney sat back and went, money? Here. Do what you want. Go. And the Marvel execs went, let's use a director that is the last person on Earth Disney would hire.
Exactly.
With Disney's money.
And I'm a big James Gunn fan. I like his cast of characters. Like Michael Rooker's in this as Yondu. Like I said, his brother plays Yondu's second in command.
Yondu, the surprisingly awesome
Everyone liked Yondu in this. I love it.
Yondu, you wouldn't expect him to be one of those characters that everybody really likes. But then, oh man.
It's like, you know what really sold me though? His whole, in the movie, Yondu is basically Quill's, I guess you could say, boss, and pretty much
mentor.
his father figure, I guess.
It's his mentor.
Yeah.
He took him in and trained him, and he learned everything he knows from Yondu.
There's this point where he says, okay, I gotta kill you now, like that whole spiel. And then, when Quill talks himself out of it, you can just see the smile on Yondu's face. He's just like, I trained him too well.
God damn.
There's a lot of that
give
with
him that one.
Yeah. I love how Yondu was from Space Arkansas.
Yeah, he's got this accent.
I'm from Space Arkansas, and I got a magic arrow. I'm
arrow.
Gonna shoot you with no bow. I just gotta go. Oh, see, you're dead.
That's the coolest thing in this movie.
Yeah,
when he crash landed.
Yeah,
it's like you saw him almost use the thing
twice in this movie.
It's like, and then just at the end, and then he crash lands, and all these bad guys are around him with guns,
surrounding him.
You're going to make your entire army stand down.
1 second though, just to explain this arrow thing. He keeps it in a pouch. When he whistles, it's like it comes up and it just starts hovering in front of his target. Twice in this movie, we saw him almost use it. Twice, just inches from a person's face. Finally, at the end, he just does the old, the old West thing where he puts his coat out like this, gets it going. And you were? And
just, he starts, these guys are all around him with guns, you're going to command your entire army to stand down right now. And he's just like, oh, well, I guess I have to. Whistles. This thing whips through, every soldier present.
And a ship!
And a ship!
It blew a ship out of the sky!
It literally cut through a frigging ship, killed the pilot, and blew it up.
Do you know what that reminded me?
And he did it all before anyone realized, oh man, maybe we should pull the trigger now.
You know what that honestly reminded me of?
What?
That scene from Mortal Kombat where Raiden is where Shang Tsung is is that his name? Shang Tsung is threatening our team with the ninjas. Raiden just has the little lightning bolt. I don't think so. That's what that was me.
Yeah. So it's just nobody figures. Although I seriously think in that instance, if somebody had pulled the trigger and just been like, oh crap, I gotta shoot this guy now, I swear that thing would have just run in front of the gunshot, spun, and deflected.
That would have been amazing.
That would have been that would have made the scene even better, but that's just me.
I also like the little trait he has, too. This is becoming the We Love Yondu.
I just realized something. Is there anyone Yondu couldn't beat on the Avengers? With that... No.
Probably Iron Man.
No, just boom.
I'm sure that could actually go through the armor.
Well, we'll see.
Right through his chest. It's made out of space metal.
Thor, maybe not.
Maybe not Thor.
Thor's kind of...
Thor, if he caught him off guard.
Maybe.
And he's a thief.
But even then, that's the moment of Thor's still kind of OP, and that's just a weapon.
Yeah. Hulk? No.
Hulk? No.
It would not penetrate Hulk.
No. Cap? Yeah.
Not the shield.
Yeah.
I know. As much as I love Cap, no. So long as Cap sees it and he has the shield up.
What?
Yeah.
What?
No, the second Yondu tricks him.
What about Black Widow and Hawkeye?
They're boned.
On the same arrow. Shish kebab.
Anyways, a great thing about this movie too. This had so much imagination put into it. All the aliens, man. It was so New Hope and Star Trek. All the aliens. I liked how they made them look half. Really well designed, half the cheapest goddamn things you ever saw.
Yeah.
Everyone, the majority of them just looked like humans, except they had, blue paint or, eyebrows.
Mm-hmm.
They looked like old school Star Trek, how the Klingons used to just be big eyebrow guys.
Well, this is a really, really old comic.
No, I loved it. I just, it looked intentional.
And the Marvel actual universe the established alien races aren't exactly known for being, you know...
No, it's just blue skin, green skin, yellow skin.
Yeah,
no, I know,
exactly.
but they could have tried to be way more creative, and they could have made it look really elaborate and CGI-y. But no, they decided
let's keep it simple, stupid.
Even where they used the CGI, they used the CGI to make it look more practical.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
In CGI, they use it correctly in this movie to do things that cannot be done practically, or to just do for little things that would just be a pain in the ass to do practically.
Exactly.
That's CGI done right.
It's for touch
Exactly. Like you're not gonna have like when they're in space, you're not gonna actually apply ice to their face, sort of deal. You know what I mean? But what was your favorite part of it? Because to me there were two, maybe three big set pieces to this. The little one being Ronan's ship, but the other two very much being the prison scene, which is just that is so much fun, and his leg.
Yeah.
We're not going to spoil that, actually. Do not spoil that.
Okay.
His leg.
Also his leg.
Also his leg. That's all I'm going to say on that one.
One more thing for this plan to work. That guy's eye. We're not taking his eye. That guy's... Come on.
We need his eye, man.
We're not taking his eye.
But also, so the prison was amazing. That's where we met Drax and Buddy.
Yep.
The other being the, what's it? Nowhere. The big giant head.
They lived in a big giant head. There's a fucking
mining operation going on.
There is a space colony with a thriving mining economy in a giant ancient space god's head.
Which was, I honestly, like, when I first saw that, I was like, they're not hinting what I think they're hinting.
No, you think it's a Galactus?
Yeah, that's what I thought at first.
Except for that moment where they don't have the rights to Fantastic Four. So
that's what kind of sucked me out of it. I was like, they're not thinking.
That may be just a hint at it, just in case later.
Just a little fan thing.
Unless
that's a thing in the Marvel, I don't know. Oh yeah, so they go there, and it turns out that's the home of the Collector.
Who we saw at the end of Thor 2.
Who I just like, why wasn't he in this movie more? Benicio del Toro.
He's so precious.
He's the best thing ever. You know how he described his character?
How?
Space Liberace.
Yeah. With sex slaves.
That's the... It was like every time he's on screen, he's just like...
Yep.
He literally does that in the movie.
So fabulous.
That was my favorite thing, like, just set piece because of, there was so much shit going on in the background. Like, I was like, holy shit, that's a Dark Elf. That's a Chitauri. There's someone else there who... Let's not say. Honestly, let's not say.
Except everyone has said it. It's all over the internet.
Just in case. Wait till the end of the credits. That's all I'm going to say. But there is so much cool stuff in there to look at. Cosmo the Space Dog is there, which I was like, references. It was so fun. Like I said, the creativity in this movie is really what I think sold it for me. Just like there's so much going on, and it's so... What's the word I'm looking for? Unique's a good word. Very unique. Everything felt lived in. That's always a sign to me of a good movie. The world feels lived in. It didn't feel like, we just built this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even like the shiny stuff, like when they're meeting the Nova Corps and like, Glenn Close, what are you doing here?
She's in so many cool nerdy things. I love Glenn Close so much. She's so cool. Also, fucking Ben C. Reilly's in here. He's gonna wreck it. I'm part of the Nova Corps. I loved Ben C. Reilly in this movie. He was so...
John C. Reilly.
John C. Reilly. I'm so sorry.
He's as a cameo. As I predicted, it was a cameo. Back in the day when the trailers first hit, people were like, he's in this movie. I'm like, there's no way he's in this movie for more than 10 minutes. I wouldn't say he's a
cameo.
He has no more than 10 minutes of screen time.
Okay, that leads into my biggest problem with this movie, which I'll explain in a minute, but first I'm gonna talk about John C. Reilly and his performance more. John C. Reilly was the face of the Nova Corps in this movie.
Yeah.
He was basically... He was an officer, but he had a soft spot for Quill.
Yeah.
And he just sort of... He was that nice guy cop sort of thing, and you sort of saw him through in every man's eyes. He had a wife and kid at home, and the wife and kid were orange, and that's cool.
Pink.
And stuff. Pink.
That was a nice little twist at the end. We find out that there's a family that Rocket, they focus on them.
Yeah.
Rocket saves them. Then later he says, I had a family to think of. Then we see him in his home. It's
There's
them.
just so many orange people in this thing.
Yeah.
But in terms of the biggest problem with this movie, what's the name of the city on the planet that they're trying to save?
Xandar, Xandu,
Xandar.
That's it.
Xandar. Okay.
Isn't that the name of the planet?
That's the name of the
The
planet.
name of the planet plus
Nova Prime is what the name of the core is, or the city. But anyway,
it's the name of it's the name of their headquarters. Nova Prime is the name of the headquarters, which is the biggest freaking thing in this city, and it's also the biggest city on the planet. So it's like Metropolis and shit. It's basically the Coruscant sort of thing, and the reason we see only 10 minutes of Ben C. Reilly is because we really only spend about John C. Reilly. I'm so sorry. Why do I keep thinking Ben? For some reason.
This is me calling him Prisoner 42601.
Yes, it is. But the reason why we only see 10 minutes of John C. Reilly is because we really only spend about 10 minutes on Xandar. And 90% of this movie is trying to save Xandar from being annihilated.
I can see what you're saying. Like, I don't know if I would give up any less seconds of the prison or the head.
No, okay. I understand that for what it was and for what this movie decided to show, it was all spectacular. But I found myself incredibly hard... I found it incredibly hard to care about the destruction of this planet that we spent 10 minutes on where the cops are, basically. I saw a lot of great families and it's really diverse and stuff like that, but we spent about 10 minutes there.
Yeah.
And I really didn't have that emotional connection with it. I thought it was impressive from a filmmaking standpoint, but I didn't feel that emotional connection with Xandar.
I felt more of an emotional connection to Xandar than I did for Metropolis and Man of Steel.
Yeah, that's the point.
Sure, but still, it was very hard for me to get into that part of the story. What I did get into, and the basic plot of this movie is basically go kill Ronan. Everyone had their own reasons to want to go kill Ronan. And I really liked their reasons. I mean, Rocket and Groot were just along for a lot of money. But Gamora wanted revenge for
I ain't in it for your rebellion, I'm in it for me.
Well, Gamora was more like she didn't want to see like all those people harmed after seeing the destruction of her own planet.
Well,
the only people who wanted to
She
kill...
was very...
No,
she wanted out. She wanted away from Thanos, and Thanos had kind of lent her to Ronan.
Yeah.
And she didn't want to see the genocide of an entire planet because she'd already seen Thanos do it to her own world.
Well, I sort of see her introduction to her actually being a good guy in the story is I was trying to betray...
A little rushed.
Yes, I was trying to betray Thanos. I was trying to sell it to someone else to get it out of his hands, which is a stupid idea.
Not even that, though. Really, the way that the scene goes is, like, what he said then, okay, I believe you.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. Great. And they save her from getting married. Married.
Like,
murder
in the showers.
I'm sure it would happen.
Yeah, I know. It's a great misconception of words there. Anyways, but I liked her. I liked her as a character, and once we got into her story, I got behind her. She wanted to kill Thanos because he had basically...
Are you talking about Thanos or Ronan?
Thanos.
Okay.
She wanted to betray Thanos because he had basically tortured her for a lot, and betraying Ronan was just a little cherry.
Thanos also killed her family.
There is a great line in this movie
where,
like, because the entire movie, Drax wants Ronan.
Yeah.
But then at the end, it's just like, well, he's finally gone. Spoilers: the villain gets defeated.
Yeah. With the power of friendship, but we'll get to that.
Yes, but like, no, I really want Thanos. Like, okay, this guy really, but it's part of the comedy.
He's a warrior.
That leads me to
There's always a bigger fish.
one of my it's a nitpick, very small nitpick.
Sure.
Movie's funny. Movie has great jokes. One joke did not work for me. I'll get to that in a second. But other than that, like, I thought the movie would have more. I thought the movie would be a lot funnier than it was. It was funny. I thought it would be funnier than it was. That's a nitpick, though. But like there's one joke in there I did not get. Tell me if you're from this time, like the 80s, and this makes sense to you.
Tell me.
Okay. Well, I'm from a planet of outlaws. Billy the Kid, Bonnie and Clyde, John Stamos. Theater was silent. Was he on a show where he played a thief?
Not to my knowledge.
I know him as Uncle Jesse.
Yeah.
I didn't quite catch that.
It sucked, dude, because I hate when that happens in a movie where, like, there's no one laughing. And they have that pause where, like, they're kind of, like, looking at the audience like, but, like, no.
You kind of feel like that's the punchline of the joke.
I wonder if that was improv. Like, anyway. So, the movie, like, in the end, is about friendship.
It is about friendship. It is. Friendship in killing space dictators.
Friendship is what solves everything.
It's about them becoming a crew.
It is.
It is about them becoming a
crew. It also has probably the best line in the movie. Where
on a badass ship.
Not just that, where Rocket stands up and you're going to not see my head here, just my dick. Well, I'm standing up too. We're all standing up like a bunch of jackasses.
Yes.
We're a bunch of jerks
circle.
standing in a circle.
Yeah.
Are we happy?
Are we happy now? Can we just do this? Okay.
Yes, exactly. And I'm not gonna spoil Groot.
Oh, Groot's amazing.
Groot. I really liked Groot. Even though he only has 3 words in the entire thing.
You know what he is?
4.
Do you know what he is?
Right.
Do you know what he is?
He's a megafauna.
No.
Flora.
He's the Iron Giant.
He is the Iron Giant in this movie.
He's the Iron
He's
Giant.
he's that oddly invincible, I'm gonna whoop everything's ass.
Voiced by Vin Diesel!
He's made of wood. How is fire not killing him?
I'm sorry, but there's that one moment on Ronan's ship where they're just like, okay, we finished off this room of baddies. Let's go to the more hallway full of baddies charging towards us. Groot just like shanks them all with his arm and just smashes.
Pull the Hulk.
Yeah.
Pull the Hulk and look.
He just shanked them with his arm, like extended his arm, shanked them all, and then just smashed them against walls, floor, roof, and just like, nope, they're done.
They each have.
And then he turns around and faces the camera with this giant grin on his face.
Giant wooden grin.
This giant wooden, like this absolutely freaking. Did I do good? Kind of grin.
I am Groot.
I am
You're
Groot.
I am Groot.
I am Groot.
And it's just like, geez, man.
Nice little tidbit here. Do you know what's so cool? Because he literally only has the lines, right? Mm-hmm. You know what Vin Diesel did?
Are you talking about all the other languages?
He dubbed all the languages.
He did Groot in every language this movie was made in. He literally went to it and just goes, okay, so I only got the 1 line, so let me record it in every language this is going to be in.
Mi amo es Groot.
Yeah, and he literally just recorded it in every language.
Yes. He claims that he did it over, like, 1,000 times. Like, because he has to do every instant.
Yeah, every instant.
Oh my god.
Line.
Yep.
I am Groot. That was so cool.
And again, I love how that was just painted as a language. It's just friggin' I am Groot. No, man, we can't be fucking do this. We're gonna die. I am Groot.
Okay!
Stop talking to me like that, man. You're making me feel bad. I am Groot. Shut up!
What would you guys say, going to our main villain, Ronan, would you say he's an effective villain?
He was a conduit for a big power.
He was like not a bad performance. Very cool design. I like the Egyptian thing going on there.
And he was slightly threatening in the fact that he completely and utterly decimated Dave Bautista.
Yeah. Oh wow, that was a really...
And that was before he got his power.
Before he got it. But he very much is. That's another unfortunate thing about these Marvel movies. The villains are very truly filler villains. Mm-hmm. They're like, okay, we have to build up to this. We have to build up to this. We all know at this point, we've known since the end scene of Avengers, Endgame is Thanos. Mm-hmm. We all know that's what we're building up to. So here, let's throw Christopher Eccleston in there as a dark elf. Let's throw Lee Pace in there as a Kree. Let's throw Guy Pearce as Adrich Killian.
Recognizable nerd actors.
Exactly.
Basically, just cameos as paper villains.
But I mean, the villain himself isn't they're at no point in this movie did I think that, You hear a lot of people talking about Ronan as though he's this terrible badass. The best thing is how they defeat him, though. Not even through the power of friendship.
Oh, may I?
You may.
This is just
wait. May I be Ronan here for a second?
Sure.
I will decimate your planet. I will destroy you all. You all stand accused.
And then Star-Lord starts singing.
What are you doing?
Yeah, it's just he starts singing this whole thing. Dance off. You and me.
Dance off. You and me.
You and me. And he's singing. And he's like, what? And he goes to Gamora like, yeah. And she's like,
rejected. Okay.
Rejected. Okay, back to me.
And he's like,
what are you doing?
I'm distracting you, man.
And then Ronan's just looking, and it's just that moment of, what are you? Seriously, I have this thing in my hand.
I am speaking of the decimation of a planet and you're dancing?
Like, I have this thing in my hand that if I touch it to the soil will completely eradicate all life on this planet.
Because things.
What are you doing? You were standing there and you were dancing and you were singing and...
I'm distracting you, bitch.
And it's like, distract? What do you... Oh. And just rocket
and Drax with a giant rocket launcher.
Just blow up the
and
hammer.
then something, and then friendship ensues after that. It's a very well done final scene. It also has probably my favorite line in the entire movie. At a point, like, where Ronan thinks he's won and where, you know, our heroes are at, like, they're like, oh, we're actually gonna die. He says, you see them before you, these guardians of the galaxy.
First time in the movie they've actually said
it. And it's the villain who names them. I always love that when the villain names the heroes.
These are your guardians of the galaxy.
He's like, how are you doing this? You said yourself, bitch.
We're the guardians of the galaxy.
That was badass.
Elements of harmony!
That was badass.
And literally just blow him up with his own power-up.
Yeah.
Boom.
I've also noticed something just quick.
And into the ball you go.
And into the ball.
Get to the mall!
And into the ball you go, because the second we unlink hands, we're going to kill ourselves.
Yes.
So into the ball you go.
I like that they've given the Infinity Stone so far, at least, very distinctive looks.
Yeah.
Like, the Tesseract is this, like, white-blue...
Because...
And the, like, cube.
Because, because in the comics, they were very samey.
Yeah, they're just gems with different colors. I like how the ether is, like, this red-black liquid. Oh, funny thing, you know what people have theorized?
What?
That Loki's staff, the one that Chitauri gave him, or Thanos actually would have given him.
It's been charged with the Tesseract.
No, they think that it may be one of the other ones. One of the other gems, like the mind control one. Because remember, he controls people's minds. That's a fan theory at this point.
Yeah.
I think that'd be cool if, like, later they're like... And also it would make sense because it was what canceled out the Tesseract.
Yeah.
So, and that's fan speculation.
I will say this, though. When the gauntlet comes out, and everybody's got the gauntlet, all of those individually shaped gems are going to
They're all going to become this thing.
And they're all going to, like, turn into dust. And
I'm okay with that, actually. If, like, at its core...
Yeah.
Like, it's clearly, like, in the Tesseract, there's a gem, in like, we even saw in this, in the orb, it's a gem. If it is Loki's staff, there's going to be a gem, and maybe, like, the ether fills up a slot, like...
It is made of gems. It's micro gems.
Yeah.
Like,
May I just say this one? As much as everybody's going on, it's like, yeah, we must be building up to Infinity Gauntlet, because we got the Infinity Stones, we got the Gauntlet itself showed up in one movie. And as much as people are going on about that, I don't see the Infinity Gauntlet making a good movie.
See, that's what I'm worried about.
It's that story arc itself, in my opinion, would not make a very good movie.
Well, that's what, like, that's the thing. Like, I mean,
mainly because the heroes don't do anything.
Yeah, like, I love who they got to play Thanos. Like Josh Brolin. Like, wow, that's,
he did good.
Talk about good. He has a cameo. He was straight up cameo in this movie.
Thanos was menacing when he did show up on screen. He was like, whoa.
That's how you do it. Like, you put him in a big fucking throne. You give him big fucking armor. You make him look like.
I kind of watched Ronan beat the crap out of Corvus.
You know who he reminded me of?
Darkseid.
Not just that. He reminded me very much of the Emperor from Star Wars. Like, he doesn't need to get off his throne. He doesn't need to get involved in this.
You know who he reminded me of? Who? The Guardian from Ultraman 9.
There you go.
So, Avatar, you're after the Infinity Stones, are you? What's a paladin? There, I just got us a whole bunch of views.
Yeah. But, you know, it's my concern with Infinity Gauntlet, if they are building up to this, and frankly, they could rewrite the hell out of the entire story arc to make it a good movie. I understand this. Yeah. But at its very base right now, with the way it was actually done in the comics, I think it would make an absolutely shitty movie.
But time will tell. We have literally at least, let's see. Next one is Avengers: Age of Ultron, which I'm looking very forward to because of James fucking Spader as Ultron.
Yeah.
Then we have
Vision's been confirmed.
Vision's been confirmed in that movie,
voiced by Jarvis.
Yeah, Paul Bettany, I love it.
Ant-Man,
yes.
Doctor Strange.
They're talking about Johnny Depp. They're talking about Johnny Depp for Stephen Strange.
I would be very okay with this.
I'd be okay and not okay for different reasons. There's going to be a Captain America 3.
Can I just say one thing about Johnny Depp as Stephen Strange? This finally makes sense.
Yeah. For one thing. No, but the funny thing about Cap 3, when they announced it, the announcement of the date down the line for Captain America 3 actually pushed the Batman Superman film forward.
Yeah, which is like
because DC decided, no, we're not competing.
That's a whole other thing, though. So basically, though, in Guardians retrospective, like, will there be a Guardians sequel?
Yes.
Hopefully, I really hope so. But what I'm looking most forward to is the crossover, the inevitable crossover of the Guardians and the Avengers. I hope it works. Like, it may seem like too many characters, but look, that's why honestly, all I want to see is, oddly enough, the Guardians and Captain America, because I want to see the Guardians, like, we'll be fine, sort of like ideals clashing with, Captain America, do it by the book.
If I may.
I think that'll be fun.
I'm gonna argue with you on that one, classically for Captain America being a do-it-by-the-book kind of guy.
Not do-it-by-the-book, sorry, but like a soldier.
He's a soldier, but he's not much of a do-it-by-the-book guy. He does say,
sorry, I shouldn't have said do-it-by-the-book. I'm more like, stop messing around.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry, my bad.
I don't see a sequel. Although I want one, I see a crossover.
No,
I see them being introduced into a bigger movie because the Marvel does this. It doesn't give everything a sequel. Iron Man made a lot of movies, so it got a bunch of sequels. This is going to make a lot of money, but this
is very much...
It's a contained story.
Exactly. It's meant to be an Avengers.
It's a contained story that leads out into question marks. And those question marks will lead to a bigger crossover film in which those question marks will be explained and our characters will be further developed.
See,
that's just the way Marvel seems to work. They snowball their properties.
Yeah. See, I'm honestly wondering if the next team we're going to meet up with are going to be the Inhumans. Like Black Beetle and his gang.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be awesome.
Black Bolt?
Black Bolt, sorry, not Black Beetle's DC.
You said Black Beetle, and I was like, I'm pretty sure there's a Black Beetle. I'm pretty sure the king of the Inhumans is Black Bolt.
No, yeah, Black Bolt, sorry. I just would love that if, like, the final scene is all three teams beating up Thanos, like, across the world. I just want a scene where, like, Thor or Hulk punches Thanos into, like, the desert or somewhere where Black Bolt's powers can be used right.
Hey, Black Bolt standing, Thanos gets up, Black Bolt standing there, opens his mouth. Opens his mouth.
Not to rain on anybody's parade, but we need to keep these movies cinematic. And having three teams fighting all over the place is cluttered as fuck.
We already have two, so...
Hollywood finds it hard to focus on the number of characters they have right now and give them concise development.
Exactly.
Marvel's great at it, but they can only go so far.
Avengers is a good movie, but I've always said extremely lucky that it worked in any way, Avengers. Like, I'm amazed it worked as well as it did.
Because they already had, most of the characters already had a movie before.
Exactly.
That was the magic of it. They had subsequent movies in order to build the character development they didn't need to do for the big jizz all over your screen. So,
even for this one, Guardians of the Galaxy, that just denotes, because this... I'm going to say it, of the Marvel Cinematic movies, not including, like, the Sonys and the Fox, because my favorite Marvel movies, like, Marvel character movies, will always be the X-Men movies. This is my favorite of this series, Guardians of the Galaxy.
It beats Avengers for you?
It really does. Like, Avengers I love Avengers, I think it's fun, but at the end of the day, that was, let's jerk off the fans as much as we can movie.
I see a lot of, I see what you're saying. While I was watching Guardians of the Galaxy, one of the first things I thought was, this is Avengers level stuff.
Yeah.
And it competes with Avengers very, very well. I still say that Avengers, for what it was, at least in its climax, was more of a spectacle.
Yeah.
Oh, it's definitely a spectacle.
This had two or three really, really good spectacles.
This was a more down to earth
It was more
Avengers.
down to earth, and it was a character development movie.
It was intimate.
It was a character development movie that had Avengers level spectacle to it, and that's great. But at the end of the day, it doesn't compete for me with like 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 really, really strong standalone films about strong characters built up in their own arcs, put together into one big save the world fest. It adheres more to the comic book sort of format, because you've got independent issues and then you've got the big yearly crossovers that have huge unimaginable stakes. For me, Avengers was the best comic book crossover big fucking book comic that I ever watched.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I liked it. Oh yeah, I love Avengers.
This movie competes with it directly by having all of the same great qualities, all of the same fun that Avengers had.
That's the key word I would use. This movie was fun.
But was more low-key. And it didn't surpass Avengers for me, but it's right up there. It's like, they sort of share the same spot, but for different reasons.
It was more low-key. Isn't that from Avengers and Thor?
Yeah. No, I understand what you're saying. It's definitely up there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I kind of look at this. One of the things I took out of this, Marvel made a really successful movie out of one of they're severely lesser known.
People were. I remember people were genuinely worried.
Yeah, when they announced it, we're doing Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh, that might
so
not
obscure. Sounds so silly.
It's like, that's such an obscure title of yours. I don't know if it'll work. And we were all saying it, and then this happened.
And then we saw the trailer.
This movie, you guys.
It was so much fun.
This is a movie that even the fan base was like, we don't think this is going to work. And then they did it. And you know what this gives me hope for?
What?
And this is just me, because I don't know if anyone else knows who the hell these guys are.
Tell me.
This gives me hope for, like, maybe down the road, Great Lakes Avengers.
I was even surprised. What? I'll be surprised if anyone in this knows who the Inhumans are.
Is that the Canadian Avengers?
Not especially. They're still like I said, little northern states, Great Lakes areas, but included in their numbers is Squirrel Girl.
Of course she is,
because she's one of them.
Yeah,
and it gives me hope that somewhere down the line, a movie for those guys could work.
Yeah. This is a good movie to, like, say, you know what, they tried something new, and it worked. Yeah. Okay, not tried something new. This movie's built on cliches. They
did something with a franchise that no other producer in their right mind.
It's almost like if you give material to competent writers, directors, and actors, they can make something good happen.
I know, right?
They took a campy space opera from the late 70s, early 80s. And
it got a relaunch in 1996.
Sure, but they put all the right cliches in all the right orders to make you not groan at them at all, and they put it to really great visuals with really well developed characters. I think that's all we can really say about this movie. And it had a magic formula to it, and it worked. And that magic formula was made of cliches and puns and obscure pop culture references
and raccoons.
Can I just say one more? Can I just say one more thing? It was really touching to see at the end Drax petting Rocket.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, joy.
Rocket sitting there all sad because
things happened.
We're not going to spoil it.
Yeah.
But he was all sad about it, and he's just sitting there all sad, and Drax kind of goes over, sit down, and like pets him like you'd pet like the head of a dog or a cat. And it was just like, and Rocket.
I am clearly Drax, and you're Raccoon in this situation.
It's like it's one of those things where
you're Gamora.
Rocket even looked at him for a second, like, are you serious with me right now?
Then he loved it.
And then he was like, you know what? No, this feels good. I'm just going to sit here and let you do it.
I said this before, but like, I think the best thing I can say, this movie gives me hope. Like, I know this is a weird thing to say. This movie gives me hope that Star Wars will be good. Episode 7. I think I said this at the beginning, but just in case I didn't.
Can I just say they used a lot of Star Wars sound effects in this movie?
Oh, but hey, who wouldn't?
No, I know. It's bait, like, you can see Star Wars written.
Do you know what I was hoping is, like, the tiniest Easter egg sort of deal?
What?
Like, in the collector's shop, like, off to the left, you saw a lightsaber just hanging around.
Yeah.
It'd be amazing.
Yeah. It's Disney, it's all Disney now! It's technically legal!
Shared universe!
Watch the Patton Oswalt Star Wars filibuster. It's the funniest thing, and it's the greatest geek thing I've ever heard. Patton Oswalt Star Wars filibuster from Parks and Recreation, actually.
Awesome.
Can't go anywhere from there. Awesome movie. I'm Saga.
I'm Paul.
I'm Raven.
Signing out.